Okay, cool. So I'll fire us up. I'm going to start our timer at 30 minutes. And here we go. Timer started, I think. There we go. All right. Here we go. Time to rock and roll. Hello, everybody. Wait, did I say it right? Hello, buddy. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Talk Story Unscripted. I am Doug, and here we have
Pete, and I'm Doug's cousin today. Look, we're wearing the same shirt.
And the same shorts. Show them your shorts, Pete.
I can't get up, man.
He's got green shorts on, too. Makes it funner if you can see his green shorts. And today we have a very special guest. We have Dino Pertzoff, the owner of Worldwide Window Cleaning. We did an awesome piece with Dino, got to learn about his life. Dino, thank you for being here.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for having me again. And my shirt's different, and I have no shorts on. No, I'm just kidding.
Looks like you're in your car. You're a man on the move, huh?
Yeah, just doing my first real meetings today in quite some time. It was I kind of like the Zoom thing rather than all the masks. I get tired of those masks.
Yeah, exactly. How, with this whole pandemic thing going, it just seems like it keeps on going. How are you doing? How's the business going?
The business is doing very well. It's amazing how God works. It first started to happen. We're going, oh no, are we essential? Are we not essential? We're waiting for the governor to come out with the list, and we looked down the list, and cleaning and janitorial, essential services. So we were deemed essential, which has allowed me to travel back and forth inter-island, and we're running probably at least 80%, maybe I would say 100%, because before we had 100% of the work, we could only get 80% of it done because people wouldn't show up. But now everybody's showing up because I'm paying them the hazard pay, and we got our PPP loan, and it's allowed us to bonus people that deserve the bonuses, to pay hazard pay, to pay the window cleaners more. And by and large, at least I won't say in our industry, but in our company, we've been just super blessed.
That's awesome, Dino. And it's funny, you talk about hazard pay for guys that are cleaning windows. You think it's hazard pay on top of hazard pay, right? I remembering being up there hanging, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can only imagine. Do they normally get a hazard pay normally?
No, it's all hazard pay. I mean, it's just pay is pay.
I hear you.
Yeah, as I was sharing with you earlier, we had a team of guys at 1132 Bishop a couple months back, and all of a sudden the next day in the newspaper is like, worker identified at 1132 Bishop as having COVID-19, and all my guys were just freaking out, and we had to step up quickly and figure something out. We said, look, if you're not comfortable, you have elderly parents you're living with, feel free to go on unemployment. But if you want to make an extra $5 an hour, continue coming, because we got the work. And I think maybe we had 2 or 3 guys that went on unemployment for a period. And then we got a PPP loan, and I was able to continue paying them. But so that everybody didn't go home, which some of them would have, I said, hey, extra $5 an hour if you stay.
Nice. Well, that'll do the trick. Sign me up.
Yeah.
Dino, we've been this past week, your show, The Call on the Street with the window washer, has been showing on Calo. So I've been able to watch it and see it a bit, and I've just been curious about your perspective on it. What did you think before we made this piece on you and on your business? What did you think about it stepping into it? What were your thoughts before we even got started?
So being a high-rise window cleaner at heart, even though I don't do too much of it anymore, and you used to ride a lot of big waves, I'd say, well, shoot, let's just try it. Let's go. What's the worst that could happen? Let's do it. So I said, yeah. Malala, I said, no problem. And then as the time approached, I was, my wife was saying, well, hey, what about this? What about that? What if this happens? And then I'm going, ooh, what have I stepped into? This looked good on paper. This looked good on paper. I remember Mike Rowe saying that just as is I put him over the edge. He said, Dino, this looked really good on paper, but I'm not quite so sure anymore. So as it happened, and then it took forever to happen. I remember that my wife was the most cautious about it. And how long did it take us to get the interview with her? We had several slightly elevated discussions, you know, when it came to doing the show. And she finally, and I thought she was awesome. She was better than I was. You know, so again, it was a little, you know, going into it. And then when it happened and I saw the job you guys did, I was like, wow, you guys did an awesome job. And, you know, because going into it, I really was like, do I really want to do a TV show that's focusing on me? And I'm going, I mean, at this point in my life, I'm like, when I was young, I was like, yeah, sure, no problem, me. But at this point, I'm like, look, I'd rather put the focus on God and other people. And the way you guys worked Brady in there and Young Life, and you guys just did such an awesome job. I had people literally, you know, dirty jobs. I'd have people stop me on the street and say that, but I wasn't expecting that from Kahlo. But I literally had people, you know, stop me in the street, stop me at 7-Eleven. Hey, weren't you the guy on that TV show? And I was just, because it really amazed me. The viewership was considerably more than I expected.
How cool.
I had one guy talk to me for 30 minutes, took me aside and telling, you know, I can't remember all the details, but it was a men's group in his study. And he said how profoundly that show affected the people in his men's group. And he was talking to me for 30 minutes, just thanking me. And so it had a lot more impact than I was really expecting.
Wow.
You know, so Dino, what's interesting about this podcast is I'm another one of those victims that Doug put me through. They also did a column on the street on me as a photographer, so I feel your pain. But I could totally relate to what you're saying. Same thing with me. I'd be walking in Foodland and some woman yells out, hey, you were on Kahlo on the street, and people want to talk to me. And I had that happen quite a bit. It was really interesting. And like you, I thought, well, let's see if anybody watches it. But man, I was really blown away by that. And same thing that you say, Dino, it's like, when they asked me, when they called me, I wasn't quite sure what they were calling me about. And then I thought, oh, maybe they were talking about my photography. Oh, do you guys want a photo for your show or something? No, we want to do a program on you. What? And same thing, like, oh, what program on me? Really? It's what? How long is it going to be? 5 minutes? I mean, you know, I couldn't believe what a great job they did. And I totally agree with you. You know, Doug, you're definitely a talented guy, Doug. And I really appreciate how you told my story. And by the way, Dino, so when they asked me, they gave me the link to your story. So I'm watching it and I'm going, oh, this is really cool. And of course, my favorite bit is when Doug here, young Doug, is getting ready to go over the side.
What was I thinking? These guys are crazy. Don't tell them I said that. Are you afraid of heights?
This is safer than it was driving here.
Wow, that's a view. Okay.
Now you wanna get yourself like comfortable in the chair. Like just kind of sit, just kind of get comfortable with it.
Oh my gosh.
All right, just sit here like this, just relax.
Oh.
You know, just kind of just get you used.
That is insane.
Let me hear what was going on there behind the scenes. Come on, tell us the truth.
Okay. I got to be honest. It's I love doing that. It's just so cool. I love seeing the fear of God in somebody's eyes and knowing they're going to be fine. You know, I remember when we did Dirty Jobs and Mike Rowe, same thing, just looking at me, sweat just dripping down. And he said, "What do you mean do this?" And I just, come on, just go outside. You're going to be fine. You know, and that was the same thing. It was like, and I don't know, maybe it's a little sadistic part of me or something. But knowing that he's going to be fine, again, as I share with so many people, that the most dangerous thing about our job is actually driving to work, which on Hawaii roads isn't saying much. But you know, it was fun. I always like that, even if it's somebody and it's not for a TV show. To watch, I kind of draw it akin to big wave surfing. You know, you're standing on the beach and you're looking out there and you're just going, no, not happening, not going to do it. And then, you know, it gets a little bit lighter, and then maybe the sun gets out behind the cloud. Then you see a few other guys out there and you're going, maybe. And then you sit there. If you sit there long enough and you talk to the people around you, sometimes you convince yourself, let's just go for it. And then once you overcome that, the feeling is just beyond. It's like I've always told people, and it's been one of my things that I like to live by, is if you don't step out of your comfort zone, you're not going to succeed in much in life. It's no fun. We don't want to do it, but it is fun watching other people do it.
I hear you, Dino, and I love you sharing that. You know, from when I'll tell you something that really helps the situation of going over was the training that you do in your warehouse before I went. Because then I had felt what it feels like to get into the chair and all that. But I got to say, when I first looked over the edge, you talk about seeing the fear of God in somebody's eyes, man, I felt it. And you know that you're secure, right? You know that you're attached. Even the chair's attached, you're attached, everything. There's all kind of safety precautions. There's no way you can get hurt at all. But in your head, it's like you can't see that. All you see is 300 feet down to the concrete, and buses look about this big. Man, I was trying to control my breathing. I was like gonna pass out. I remember Michael next to me. He'd be like, it's just another day at the office. And I was like, are you kidding me? This is another day in the office. That is not. But it was a lot of fun.
I still remember June, I don't know the exact date, 1984, my first drop over the side, and everything's all rigged up, and I climb over, I get in my chair, and the worst part was when I actually squeezed that thing and I started to move.
Right.
And it was just like, you know, I'm okay, I'm fine here, I'm fine, I'm all tied in, I'm good. Wait a minute, this thing's moving.
And you control it, right? If you squeeze too much, you're going.
Yeah.
The problem today, though, you know, our windows here at Call of TV are really dirty. And Malala, our general manager, keeps telling Doug, get out there and clean them. He refuses. I don't know what we can do. Is there any kind of help, any advice you can give? Come on, Doug.
Hey, one time for me, that was what I was good for, and you got it. And it's on camera. It's all we need.
What do you mean, no sequel? Come on.
When Doug goes over version 2.
Yeah. I do like, Dino, what you share about, you know, it's like living on the edge and stepping out. It's a lot like being a Christian in today's world, you know, stepping out, and, you know, it's really living by faith. You know, very easily the rope or whatever that somebody tied the knot wrong, or something's wrong, and then boom, you're gone. But as a Christian, living on the edge, stepping out into where God wants you to be. Do you find that in your life? You know, like some of the things you shared about, even doing surfing big waves and whatnot. Is there a lot of parallels to your walk with God?
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, if you think about it, people don't that much, but every single day, it's you're getting in that car and you're driving to work, and you're expecting that steering wheel is going to stay attached, and you're going down the highway, and it's not going to fall off because you trust it. You have faith in it. You know, you talk about the ropes and how they can easily break, but we've done the research. You can pick up a 747 with one of those things. When you step into an elevator, do you ever think about those cables breaking? Most people don't. But that's a leap of faith. And talk about faith lately. You step into an elevator, now I'm having faith that I'm not going to get coronavirus.
Right.
So it's not a matter of having blind faith. Like I don't go stupid out of my way and jump into, go paddle out in 50-foot waves when I'm not prepared for it. I haven't been training. I prepare myself as much as I can, like my Christian walk. You do all the research. You read the Bible, you pray, you fellowship, and you make an educated decision. But there's no way to take that step from here to here without faith, because you're not going to prove it scientifically. There's always going to be somebody saying, we can't prove that scientifically. Well, that's not the goal. Faith is the goal.
That's good. I love what I think I heard Josh McDowell say once. He said that we don't have a blind faith. We have a faith built upon evidence, right? There's so much evidence for our faith. It's not built upon just concepts and ideas that are whimsically, the Bible is itself one of, if not the only, most oldest historical document that is, it's gone through the test of time, and so much of science and archaeology backs up the things of the Bible. So it's not built upon just an idea; it's built upon the evidence that has been gathered for that faith.
Yeah, I mean, talk about built on an idea. Look at the news media today. They have an idea and then they create the news.
Wow, that's a really good point. Yeah, that's really interesting, Dino. When you talked a little bit ago about Young Life and how we brought Brady Justa into that video. How is Young Life doing right now? During this pandemic and everything, are they doing okay?
Well, it's talk about a leap of faith. Oh my goodness. Their major campership fundraising dinner had to be canceled this year, and that was supposed to be at the end of April. And every year, we collect about $60,000 to send young kids to camp. And this year, there was none. So we're coming up with all kinds of ideas on how to raise funds. And obviously, there's going to be no mainland camps this year, but there's a bunch of local camps. And we still need to raise a bunch of money. We have some amazing people on committee and others that help out. They're looking at coffee fundraisers, selling campership coffee, they call it. You can get a subscription. By the way, if you're a coffee drinker, I'm going to get you guys signed up because I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to get myself a subscription every month. Send me this much coffee, and half of the money that you give goes to send kids to camp. And so we've been trying to do that, and we're debating on whether to try to do one in October instead, or just skip this one altogether. But I can't imagine. I mean, this is just one nonprofit, charity that does incredible work. Just the pain and suffering that churches and all sorts of charities are going through because of this is just incalculable.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Hey, so Doug, speaking to you, Doug, you've got two of us here. You did these programs on. What's the theme of doing Call on the Street? Why do you even do it? What's the point of it? You've put us through the ringer. Now people go to Food Land or 7-Eleven, and people are going, "Who are these?" Well, we know these guys. So tell us, what is your goal in doing these programs?
Yeah, no, I totally hear you. Different people present different people. So I know through different avenues we have encountered different individuals. Dino, I think Malala had seen your dirty jobs and saw you praying for Mike before he went over the edge. And that in those little moments, you know, we saw Grant McCartney on American Ninja Warrior coming off one of his dismounts. He just barely made it, and he puts his hands up and like worship to the Lord. And we see Pete, and we saw his photography, and then you learn about him that he's a pastor. You see these beautiful portraits, and he has these titles that have these little hints towards the things of God. Then you find out the guy's, you know, has a whole ministry and is doing services on the beach and that kind of thing. And so the point of Call on the Street is to highlight people that are making a difference in their community, whether it's through their business or whether it's through just their everyday lives. And both your guys' cases, it's both. And so that was the point, was to find people that were not necessarily involved in blatant ministry, but were doing ministry in their workplace or in their lives. And so when we saw that in your guys' lives, we wanted to capture it because there's such great story there, right? There's such great story of God's hand of grace, mercy, provision, his creative aspects that he works through Pete, and the giving second chances to people who need a hand up, right? Because you've experienced it yourself, Dino, yourself being a second chancer. Just these little like nuggets that they hit me, and they hit the people that work here, and then we want to share that with others, right? And do it in a packaged way that is, because it's hard to sit down and tell somebody a story, and you kind of, and then the dog did this, but if you have in this concise package of a video, and you're able to spend all this time making everything nice and clean and cut and pristine, you can maintain somebody's attention a lot better.
That's awesome.
So that was the purpose of doing the show from the whole beginning.
That's great. Hey,
Very cool.
So just this past week, we did a Talk Story Unscripted, just like this, with Mike Lindell, you know, the My Pillow guy. You know, he's everywhere.
Just thinking about him when you said that before.
Well, he was awesome, but as we did the story, as we talked with him, we realized that your life parallels very much like Mike's. You know, he being an ex-addict, and now he's got this big business, and you're running a business, and the fact that you really cater to second chances for people, and Mike does the same. It's very similar. So I'm thinking, Dino, it's time for you to write a book or a movie. You ever thought of that?
He took my title. You're from crackhead to CEO. I went and bought one of his pillows just because it was so cool when Trump brought him under the national media, and and I love the pillow. I open it up, and he's got a little Bible verse in every pillow. You pull it out, and it's so cool.
I didn't even notice that. I just bought my mom one for her birthday. Where's the Bible verse at? I didn't even see it.
Yeah, it was right there, a little Bible verse, a little like a fortune cookie Bible verse,
I love it. I love it. That's so good. And that's exactly the kind of stuff we're talking about. We should make a call on the street about Mike Lindell. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Hey, Dino, speaking of second chancers and that kind of thing, how is things going with your business as far as your business/ministry aspect of it? How have things been for your business in that way?
Much of the same. Since we did this, was that last year or the year before? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it was
2 years ago. Same. I mean, Michi, Michael, he's still with us, and we continue to hire second chancers, not just second chancers, and the Lord continues to bless us because there are challenges and risks involved in doing that, but by and large, we've avoided the snares, and sometimes I got one guy I've been working with for, man, it's got to be close to 20 years now. He's just in and out. It's either drugs or girls, and one leads to the other, right? The girl leads to the drugs, or the drugs leads to the bad girl, or whatever it is. And we just recently gave him another chance, and he just recently went back out on the street and probably back in jail. But we do it, and we've never been burned by it. So whenever he comes out, I say, hey, come back around. We'll hire you. We'll give you a chance sooner or later. I watched him go from 20 something to 40 something, and he's, but we continue to pray for him. And so, it's one of the cooler things that I get to do is to give people chances to do that.
Wow, that's really cool.
We need more people in the world like you, man. That's seriously, that's an awesome thing you do. And you know what? I just want to say, to the viewers that are at home or wherever they are watching this, Dino, can you share a word of encouragement to everybody during this pandemic time, or maybe it's somebody dealing with going back, who's a second chancer and blowing their chance or whatever it is. Give us a word of encouragement to the viewers at home.
I would say, whatever situation that you're in, look for the silver linings. So, a couple months ago, or a month and a half ago, it was kind of hard to see the silver linings. But now we're seeing it. So look for those ahead of time. I'm seeing people, even family members that I had one in particular that said, I'm talking to, she was depressed. She'd had a little bit too much to drink. And she said, tomorrow's the day that I wake up and I start praying for myself, my family, and my country. And I had never heard anything like that come out of her mouth before. And I imagine that cannot be an isolated incident. People that thought that as long as you use your brain and other people's brains, and we get together and we're all good enough, we can make a perfect world, are now knowing that they're not as in control as they thought they were. So this is going to be a huge ministry. It is already. I mean, the church is locked down. It's like, oh no, can't go to church anymore. I think they're going to be even fuller than before. And so I'm excited for that. I really am, because I'm seeing so many silver linings. When 9/11 happened, you seen everybody come together, and you're going, okay, it didn't last very long, but everybody did come together.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping for that too.
That's awesome. Yeah, you know what? I'm really excited about that. I think that we are coming into, what did you call it, Doug? It's an awakening, right? Which awakening are we up to in history?
Oh, the Great Awakenings?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this would be number 4, I believe, of America.
So Lord willing, maybe this is the start of the 4th Great Awakening, where people, revival starts, people are looking. Everybody knows, hey, there's more to life now for sure, because we've all been stripped down, right, from things that we're so used to having and easy access to. And I feel like we've really been stripped down. So this is a time where people are calling out for the Lord.
Amen. Yeah. Maybe this will be the 5th Great Awakening. I need to check my stats on that.
It's going to be a great awakening. That's the important. Dino, thanks so much for being on the program here and hanging out. And it's great to hear this behind the scenes stuff. One thing you mentioned, Young Life is going to be doing, was it the coffee subscription thing?
Yeah.
Did that happen?
Yeah, it's just now. I mean, as we speak, I just saw the labels. We went through a bunch of them, and I think they've settled on it. And we've come to an agreement with a coffee grower on the North Shore. And it is, if it's not available right now, it will be in the next week or 2.
That's great. So on the screen right now, we have the website where you can go and get more information about that. And for those of you who are watching, let's support Young Life. I mean, that's our next generation. So let's make sure we all get on top of it. And for those of us who drink coffee, hey, man, that's me. I want to get involved in that. That's an easy way. I'm getting a benefit even. So that's great.
Win-win.
Yeah, win-win. Also, for those who have not seen Call on the Street featuring Dino and especially watching Doug go over the side, you got to watch it. It's really great. And the link here is on the screen as well. And again, Dino, thanks so much for being part of this. It's great. One day we'll have to meet and hang out and have a coffee. And
yeah, there we go.
But not on top of any building. No thanks. I'll meet you over in Waimea when it's breaking 40, 50 feet. And I'll watch you. I'll photograph.
You're next, Pete. You're going over the next edge. Hey, Dino, thank you, man, for being on the show. God bless you, man, and God bless your business and you and your family.
Pete, thank you. It's a pleasure.